All right, welcome everybody. If you're just joining us, we have 56 participants on the line, and more people are going to be trickling in here as we go along. Our speaker for today is none other than Mr. Daine Clark. Now, if you're new to the call, you haven't heard Daine's story. Before getting started with Renata's, Daine was actually working in the Apple store and also as a roofer. At the Apple store, he wasn't your typical extroverted guy in the front greeting everybody in the blue shirts. You know, as we walk in, now he was the guy in the back, the shy guy, and he was the one who was mainly focused on counting inventory. And he knew that he wanted to develop his personal skills, get more in front of people, and do better in that sense. So he started looking for opportunities where he could work on his improvement, self-development, as well as some other income generation opportunities. He found Renatus around this time and decided to take the opportunity, the educational opportunity, very seriously, listening to his mentors, watching his education, and man, he applied the velocity banking to pay down his education debt and was able to get a duplex, live on one side, rent out the other. Now, if we fast forward to today, Daine has now raised over $6 million from investors to lend on various real estate transactions. He's grown his team, across the country. He's a PIT team member, and he's recognized by Bob Snyder as a key leader in our group. So we're just very fortunate to have Daine Clark as our presenter here today. So without further ado, I'd like to bring Daine Clark on the line. Good morning, Daine. How's your morning going?
It's doing wonderful, Abby. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Good, good. All right. Let me share my screen here. Good morning, everybody. I'm super excited to be here. I've got a bunch of great stuff to go over today. And I got a couple of stories that I wanted to bring up too that might help you guys. All right, start, share. Cool. Can you see my screen okay, Abby?
Yep. Screen is clear.
Perfect. All right, let me make a new one of these. And perfect. All right. Good morning again. So I've got some interesting stories that happened to me over the last week. And so let's see, last Wednesday, so Thursday, I had a lady that when we met, she was excited. She came down to Thursday. She's like, this is cool. And it was funny because right off the bat, she goes, so do I make money if I bring people here too? And so I basically just, very politely said, yeah, but we can talk about that if you'd like to, another day. And so needless to say, she was excited. She's wanted to get into real estate for a while now. And so we met one-on-one and I showed her a 3-phase plan and she put her order in. She got, again, just all excited. And then I set another meeting with her and gave her some homework and said, hey, here's some ideas, go do this, and then let's meet up again. And then I want to see you on Thursday. And so she canceled the meeting. She very last minute, she said, whatever, she had some excuse. And so I kept on trying and could never get her. And then she shows up, or I finally get her to say, yeah, I'll show up on Thursday. And here's how I actually got her. And I could even go back to all my text messages and look at our past ones. But basically I said, hey, I really want you to meet somebody. Okay. So after she had kind of like cut ties and she kept on canceling our meetings and stopped stopped responding sometimes, I texted her and said, hey, I really want you to meet somebody down on the Thursday night meeting. And I actually have something new that you've never seen before. Never seen. And so can you make it this Thursday at 7 p.m.? And she finally texts back and she's like, yeah, actually I can come. What do you have in mind? And so she comes down and she goes to one of the meetings, and really the person that I wanted her to meet was the presenter. And, you know, I told her just a little bit like, yeah, this guy's new. He's been crushing it. And anyway, so she comes down and she's all, you know, and she's like a little more excited again. She's like, okay, yeah. But then she says to me, she's like, you know what? I don't think I want to do the 20 grand. I want to close a deal in real estate that is going to make me 20 grand. And then I'll buy Renatus. And so, and I'm sure if any of you guys have heard that phrase, that's just like, oh, dang it. But this time, because every time that's ever happened to me before, I've never been able to close them. And so when that happened to me, I decided, you know what? Challenge accepted. And that's what I told myself on my mind. I'm going to see if I can get this lady. And so she starts saying that, and I'm just like, oh yeah, whatever, you know. And what I ended up doing was using I actually read this in Grant Cardone's Closer Survival Guide. I literally just took it as an excuse that she was just nervous. I literally just in my mind told myself, you know what, she's just telling me that because she's a little bit nervous. And the only reason she's saying that is because she wants to make sure that she has success when she does this. She doesn't want to drop 20 grand and then just not make money. And so that's just how I took it, as she's nervous. And so I said, cool, we'll tell you what, let's actually meet up at a real estate deal. Let's go walk through, you know, let's meet up one-on-one again. Okay. And so I schedule another meeting one-on-one. And so we go meet at the house. And this time I just have a laser light focus on, all right, here is what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do. And the whole thing was just about making your money back. And so I talked more about velocity banking, and I said, I want you to watch this class first. And I actually got so specific and assertive, if you will, like, hey, I'm a leader and I can help you get what you want. And so obviously I didn't say that, but that's how I was acting. Just, hey, if you want this, then I'm going to have you do this. And so I started actually saying things that I wanted her to do. I want you to watch this velocity banking class. Then once you're done with that, I want you to watch this class, tax and legal 1, tax and legal 2. Okay? And then we'll focus on this, and then once we're ready, and I told her, I said, I mean, yeah, this is a beast of education to get through, but I only want you to go through the basics. And once we're done with that, then you get to write a huge check mark and say, done. I'm done with this. Let's go make some money. And then I said, and you mentioned to me that you asked me if you'll get paid if you bring people. I said, in a nutshell, and we'll learn about it a little bit more, but in a nutshell, yes, you can earn some money while you're learning these classes. And I said, but my only criteria is that if you're going to bring people, you need to be watching these classes so you know what you're talking about. And so the more we talked, and the more we just talked about how she's going to make her money back, she's like, yeah. And I'm excited. And so she got excited again. And so she put, actually, no, we already had her order in. And so she's like, all right, cool. I'm going to go figure out how, I can find the $20,000, and let's focus on getting 0%. And cause she has great credit. And so all the way, and it was crazy, all the way from saying to me that I want to do a deal first, I basically just took that in my mind as an excuse that she's a little bit nervous, and just plowed right through to, tell you what, let's get you what you want. And it was crazy. This is one of the first times that I've had somebody say that phrase. And obviously she hasn't paid yet, so I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch. But she's still committed to do some homework of figuring out her situation and how she can find the 20,000. And she's been texting me. So we just met, I want to say Monday again. And she's been texting me yesterday that she's been doing the homework and she's figuring things out. And so she's got lines that she's opening up, and it's working. So, but at the same time, I've got another story that just happened yesterday. So another person, and I want to talk about, obviously it sounds like you guys may already know, but excuses. Don't take them. It's just people telling you that they're a little bit nervous. Yeah. So another guy, I just met with him yesterday. So I went over to his house. Same thing. We met a few times. They've come to a couple meetings down on Thursday night. They've been super excited, put their order in. And then I'm talking to him, you know, they got a bunch of kids, so it's so much easier for me to just go to their house. So I went over there and we're talking, and same thing. He's like, Daine, I don't know if I want to do this, man. I'm nervous. Like this, I've done stuff like this before and it never worked out. I've never done it where it cost me $20,000 though. So so he's just like backtracking. And so in my mind, I was like, you know what? I'm going to decide to just take this as an excuse that he just wants to make sure that this is going to work for him. And so I just started, I just started getting real. And I said, all right, Eric, here's what we're going to do. So, and then I just started lining out saying, all right, this is what I want you to do first. I want you to do this. I want you to do this. Okay. Once you're done with that. And I said, here's how it works. And I even flat out told him, I said, Eric, the only thing that I want to make sure that you do is get through those classes. Okay. And so I said, here's what happens. Sometimes when people start going through their classes, they get excited and then they come to me and say, Daine, where's the deal? I'm ready. And I said, I want you to be that person. Okay. I want you to be the person that has come to me and said, Daine, I'm done. I'm done with my essentials. What's next? Okay. And so I just lined that out and I said, here. And I just like straight up told him how I wanted his mindset to be, that he's getting this stuff done and just check marking. I said, don't worry. It's going to be hard. You can already tell yourself that it's going to be hard and you're going to be doing hard things. But and I just use that check mark analogy of when you're done with this, you can say to yourself, check, done. What's next? And then once you get through that beast of education, then we'll go to work. And I said, so ask yourself this: what are you capable of? And he's like, well, and he started opening up his mind to ideas, and he started coming up with, oh, well, I could get through it while I'm doing this. I actually have a bunch of stuff at work so he started coming up with his own ideas of how he's going to do this. And I was like, yes, that's right. So as he's going through and he's telling me, yeah, I'll watch classes here, I'll do that, I'll watch classes there, I'll come every single week to Thursday night, and I'm ready, Daine, I'm ready. And so they whipped out all their credit cards. They didn't actually have any of them activated yet, so we had to sit there for like 30 minutes and activate all these credit cards. And so they activated them, and we put their full cash combo in and unlocked education for them. And I showed them, and I clicked on the very first class, and I said, all right, open this class, and here's how you download it. Here's how you put it on your phone, because he told me that he drives a lot. And so I said, all right, I'm going to help you get your first class. Watch me do this. Let's get this on your phone. And just all the way through to getting it to where he could listen to it while he's driving, or he's got a lot of times he'll do work that he can just put earphones in and work while he's listening. And he just had so much confidence, like, yes, Daine, I'm doing this. And he's super excited. Yeah. So moral of the story: every time you hear somebody give you an excuse, just again, take that as they're just They just want to make sure that they're making the right decision. They just want to make sure that they're doing a good thing, and they want you to tell them. Yeah, they want you to be more assertive. If somebody is kind of giving you excuses, they just want you to be more assertive. So sounds like we have somebody come out.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, brother?
What's going on, my man? I'm over here at the
doing?
gym, man. I was listening, loving life, man. I'm feeling fantastic. I'm at the gym listening to you. And if I could piggyback off of what you said, not only not taking their excuses, but also utilizing the tools that we have at our reach to allow them to see a process on how they can actually make themselves successful. They can see themselves being successful using the tools that we have, as opposed to anything external. Keep them within the education. Yep.
Absolutely.
That was incredible, man. Congratulations on those two, man. Seriously, that's a great job.
Cool. No, thank you. Let's all do this together. So actually in the future, I want to make this where I got other people coming out and telling more stories, because I'm, like Abhi said, I'm technically a little bit more of a shy person. I don't like to be the only one that just sits and talks. So I got some ideas, but yeah, thanks, Charlin. So let's see, we got a couple of chats. Does this guy utilize credit nerds for the credit cards you had to wait to activate? So let's see, this was the second guy. So he actually already had a bunch of cards, and he said, oh, Daine, I've been getting freaking tons of 0% credit card things in the mail. And so I think I'll just talk to a bunch of those guys and so he got cards that he both already had that he was already banking with, some 0%. And then he applied for some of the ones that he had just been getting in the mail. And he and his wife both get those in the mail all the time. So that's what he ended up doing. So, yes. All right, let me come back over here. So, excuses. I think we beat that to death. A couple other things that I really wanted to talk about today is that talk about this. When you're meeting with people, I love to make the unlocking of education like a pivotal moment. I think it's just because of how I treat it. Like, it is the most exciting moment when somebody unlocks their education, puts their cards in, right? I make it exciting for them. And I say, this is a moment in your life that you made such an assertive decision that you laid down money. And because you laid down money to do this, things in your life, because you made the decision, man, things in your life are going to start showing up to help you with the decision that you've made. And I straight up just, oh man, I make that moment, and I always call it the unlock session. And so, get excited. That is, it's obviously the moment that you guys get paid because you guys collect your credit cards, but it's also the moment that they assertively change their life. Believe me, every single one of the people on this call, can you remember the moment that you whipped out your credit card or wired money into Renatus or send a check in, because they actually do accept checks. You can mail a check down to the office. But whatever it is that you did, remember that moment. And I even straight up told this guy, I said, believe me, you're going to feel this emotion a few more times in your career of getting into real estate investing. Imagine the first time that you make an offer on a house and you tell them you're going to pay cash. You're going to feel this feeling right now. I just make it okay. I said, imagine the first time that you actually buy it using somebody else's cash. You're going to feel this feeling, right? So just remember that the key is to get used to this feeling, right, that you're feeling right now, because this is a good feeling. This means that you're getting out of your comfort zone and that you're making a decision to really go towards your goals. And he's like, all right, Daine, I'm in. And so I told him, and I told him, I said, all right, as we go through this, you know what you want, right? You want to go flip a house. Okay. So here we are. We just unlocked education. We've got this whole roadmap in front of us of things that we're going to go. And I said, believe me, your emotions, just like right now, your emotions are like, your emotions are going to peak back as you come to classes and as you come to study groups, and you watch your classes, and then things are going to happen. We're just like, dang it, I just wasted $20,000. And I said, there actually may be moments where you're just like, that dang Daine kid, that freaking Daine. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh. And then you're going to be so angry. And then you're going to get excited again because something happens. And then, so I said, believe me, dude, you are going to emotionally, every single person on this call, has that happened to you? You're going to emotionally go up and down and up and down. I said, just remember what we're going for though. Okay. Because emotions they're always going to go up and down. Okay. That's what they're designed to do. Our bodies are designed to feel all these emotions. Okay. Helps us learn, helps us grow, helps us wake up and realize that we're human. But just remember, in a down emotion and an up emotion, if you just make sure that you are working towards what it is that you want, that you're going to always get closer to it. Okay. Just remember, in a down emotion, that just means that there's something to learn. In a good emotion, it just means that you just learned something. Okay. And so back and forth, expect it. And he really was, after telling him that, like, dude, it's funny because if you just tell them what's going on, they get excited. Okay. Just be so real with people, all this compliance stuff that's coming down through corporate to make sure that Renatus withstands the test of time. Like it's actually, I've found that the more compliant that I am becoming, and the way you say it, that is just real. Like, yeah, this is freaking work, man. This is going to be hard, but that's why it's worth it. Because as you go through this and your emotions are dropping in the toilet and you're just like, I just wasted my money. And then you do something that gets you closer. And then finally you nail it where you land on making your very first dollar. I said, honestly, if you look at my situation, when I made my first dollar, it actually didn't change my emotion. Like, I found that I control my emotions. Money doesn't. Reaching my goals doesn't. I control my emotions. And so if I let myself get in a state where my emotions are negative, it just hinders me, and it's a waste of time. And so even then, I closed my first deal. I still had these moments where I felt like a failure. I closed my second deal and made money, cash in the bank, like more money than I had ever had in my bank account in my life. And I still had these negative emotions that, I wasted my money. I didn't, I got lucky one time, And so I realized that I control the emotions. And so as you go, and you get yourself to this point where you can control your emotions. Yeah, I still feel all these emotions. And believe me, every once in a while I have it comes down and whatever, I want to like chew off some, anyway, bobblehead. But as it goes, just remember that you control the emotions as you're working towards those goals. Achieving goals does not change your emotions. You do. Yeah. Cool. So we got a few more minutes. I do have a couple other things I want to say, but like I said, I want this to be a little bit more interactive as well. So looks like we have a couple of comments. Who has questions? Who has something that is going on that they're like, hey, Daine, I could use some help? Who has even a triumph? I would love to hear somebody come off. And honestly, I want to hear from the shy people because you guys are my people. What are you focusing on? Okay, let's see. Charlene, peed myself. Yes, I remember. Oh my gosh, Keely. So excited though. I set a goal for $30,000 by the end of July. Oh my gosh. Congratulations. You will make this happen. Absolutely.
Daine, this is Tyson
Uh,
from Jordan. I have something for you.
Tyson, what's up, brother?
What's up, man? I have a person who expressed a lot of interest in purchasing the education. And last time we talked, she was going to go home and do some more analyzing of her finances because she has negative cash flow. And she kind of dropped off the face of the planet. And I'm not sure how to reconnect with her and inspire that motivation again. What would you do?
I'll tell you right now, it's going to be, your sentence is going to have to start with, oh my gosh. Because when you help people realize that something happened in your life that spurred you to think about them, it makes them feel important, actually. And so one of the things that I do when, in this situation, and obviously I don't know exactly how things ended, but I would say something like, oh my gosh, I was just talking to, I don't know. I was just talking to Daine and he was telling me about how they just closed on a deal where they got $100,000 discount, and whatever you feel is going to spur her, like velocity banking or getting $100,000 discount on a house or seller financing a rental property or, whatever it is. So do something like that. Like, oh my gosh, I was just talking about, and then tell a little story. And it made me think of you. In fact, I would love to introduce you to somebody on Thursday night at 7 p.m., and just get her to the next meeting. Yeah. But also realize that sometimes people are in a state where they just can't afford this. So make sure that you're spending your time with people that obviously want to change their life, but also are in a position where they could still get started, right? And the cheapest thing that I shouldn't say the cheapest, but the least amount of cash outlay that somebody can utilize to join Renatus is what, $423.80, and gets them a UGA Essentials. So, I mean, still give them that opportunity, but just remember, if they can't even afford that, there's not a whole lot we can do for them right now other than just pumping them up and say, make some decisions in your life, because if you can't afford $428 or $423.80 right now in your life, that's an emergency. And we're going to have to change some stuff. And I have had those people. And I basically told them, I said, all right, we're going to have to focus on increasing your income. We're going to focus on getting a better job or going and asking for a raise or whatever it is. Okay. But sorry, I just went off like crazy on that. But to re-stem, I would do something like that. Oh my gosh, I was just doing this and it made me think of you. I have somebody I want you to meet on Thursday night. Maybe they have never seen Alan Groves. Maybe they've never seen like a Nate Lambert teaching in one of the classes down there. Or maybe they've never seen a house tour that happened, just like last night on Tuesday night. Or maybe they've never seen a house tour on Saturday, okay? Get her to something. So, good question. All right, any other questions? And then I do have one more thing that I would love to talk about. I want to give you guys a chance. Questions, going once, going 2 times. Tell me about your people. What are you struggling with? What are you facing? Okay, cool. I've got one other thing that I want to talk about, and then we will go after our morning. So one of the things that I actually may have mentioned this because I freaking love it. But one of the things that I realized when I was new, and somebody told me this, but I used to look at people that were leaders in our community, the John O'Neills, the Michael Huggins, the Mitch Nelsons, the Scott Rose, all of these leaders, and there's so many more, our pit team, our pit team and all the local volunteers. I used to look at these guys and say things to myself like, oh my gosh, I wish I could say it like Mike. I wish I could say it like Mr. Huggins and John O'Neill and all these guys. And then somebody said something to me the other day, several years ago. And I said, oh my gosh, that's so true. In fact, I heard this multiple times from other people, but here's the best way I can say it. If you're sitting here and you're looking at somebody else that you feel like you look up to and that you aspire to, if you see characteristics, I'm not going to try and spell that. I think we can sound it out, right? If you see characteristics in people that you aspire to be like, the crazy thing is that means that it's somewhere inside of you. Because you can't see things. And this goes positive and negative, I might add. Okay? So if you see positive characteristics in people, if you see negative characteristics in people, that means that is inside of you somewhere, whether it's been surfaced or it hasn't, positive or negative, it's there. Okay. And so what I started realizing was, okay, if I see something in a Mr. Michael Huggins, that means it's inside of me. And if I see him do something that I'm just like, oh my gosh, I want to be like that, I want to do that, then that means I can have it. Okay. So the best way I've been able to say this is, well, do you guys remember when, back in the day when licking things and claiming them as your own, licking things and claiming them as your own was like a thing? Or maybe it was just because I had brothers, I don't know. But in my house, when I was a kid, if you licked it, it's yours. Nobody else wants it, right? So I decided to take that attitude. Whenever I see a characteristic that's positive in somebody else, I recognize, I say, cool. If I see that, that means I can have it. In fact, I started going to the point where I started acting as if, and it was already there and it surfaced. And so I just used it. I say, all right, if I see this characteristic in a leader, I say, cool, I am that. Now, I am exactly that, and I can do this, I can do that, okay? And if I saw negative characteristics in other people, I said, all right, time to learn, time to upgrade my own mentality, my own thinking, because if I see that, that means it's inside of me and I need to get rid of it, okay? So remember that. If you ever see negativity in other people, start looking inward, because there's a reason you see that, okay? So licking things and claiming them as your own. If you see it, you can have it. Remember that as you're going about your day with becoming the person that you want to be. Cool? So my last thought for the day. And let me just make sure I check comments really fast before we close and let you guys go. I need to hear this. Thank you so much, Keely. Freaking awesome. Sherry, thanks for clearing that up because I was feeling bad. Congratulations, Sherry. Let's do this. Pat, love you guys all. I will see you all next week. Brian, looks like you just came off. Did you have something to say real fast before we go?
Yes. Daine, I just want to say thank you for all the value that you're giving us. I took your EMT class. I had a blast, and then we had a conversation about Toastmasters probably about 2 weeks ago. I just saw what it was about last night. I love it, and I'm all in. I just want to say thank you for that.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. Lick it, man. Lick it, claim it as your own. Looks like we had somebody comment and say they used to lick their finger and get the birthday cake. Yes. Great idea. Great idea. All right, guys. Have a good week. I'll talk to you soon.
Hey, Daine.
Yo.
This is Tyson again from South Jordan. I just have a random comment for you.
Yes.
So you worked at the Apple store. I was at the Apple store 2 days ago, and I networked, and now she's coming to the Thursday night meeting. Just thought that was kind of ironic.
Nice, man. Nice. I wonder if I know them, or maybe my wife knows them. I mean, they got a lot of turnover, but there's a good chance that they might know myself or my wife, or they know people that my wife and I know. But yeah, introduce them to me.
All right.
All right, guys. Have a great week. I will see you soon.